right. Like what's the meaning of life? Like what's the meaning of life? Tell me, are you ready to pay that price? Late nights, early morning sacrifice. They tried to lock me in the cage and that ain't right. Scheming cause I won't eat in at night. Everywhere they go, they take they pole, I'ma keep my pipe. Had to show them boys that I won't no hoe, had to earn my stripes. Gotta pour my heart on songs I'm oozing pain for life. This shit run through my veins, hope it stay like this for life.
I did a whole video on, what was the video on? Not responding to the 3D. And I'm outside at the gym. And I heard the cicadas. But when I went to edit it, it was disgusting. I'm like, I can't do anything on the video right now. So let me ramble for a second, okay? I pay for an editing app that I cannot use on my two phones because the software is not supported, or the phone doesn't support the software anymore. My iPad and my laptop are 3 hours away. So I'm not about to go do that right now, because if I go put that video on those apps, on the laptop or whatever, then I can use that software. I already have another editing software app for this phone, but that software editing app clearly isn't as superior because it doesn't have a background noise option. So we're just gonna leave it for another day. I'm not gonna worry about it. I've been not wanting to film in the car. You know how you see people who film in cars? Don't bother me. I'm cool with it. But my car is actually set up for that. This car is not, but surprisingly, it's working out. So let's just get into it. I am Shayla J. This is Chocolatecake101. And today, because I don't feel like talking about responding to your 3D anymore, I'm a little frustrated. We're going to be talking about everyone is you pushed out. I was actually talking to a friend about this earlier today because she is in a new environment where she has all these people in her environment that are doing the exact same thing that the people in her old environment were doing, treating her the certain way and acting a certain way and responding a certain way. So I was like, oh, good. Then we can just go ahead and agree that this is you. So let's talk about it. This is a part of the self-concept series talking about the law of assumption and changing your mind to create your reality. Victim mentality versus creator mentality. The term everyone is you pushed out. I kind of have notes, not really, but guess what? It is what it is. We're going to make it work, baby. The term everyone is you pushed out is a very common term if you are in the spiritual community or the self-help community or even the law of assumption or law of attraction community. You can search it on any search engine or on social media. Everyone is you pushed out. What does that mean? That means that everyone around you, the people, the experience, the things that you're going through that's around you is going to be an extension or a mirror, a mirror of you, what you're doing, what you're not doing, something on the subject of what you're doing, and or something that you're not controlling, an assumption that you assume about the situation, okay? So I like to call this mirror, mirror on the wall, because I've talked about it in the past before. They say that the universe mirrors you. I talked about whatever you want, the energy that you want, you have to give off that energy. Okay, so check out my video on detachment and self-concept. In that video, I talk about how if you give off, the universe says, you know how your mama says, you want something to cry about? I'll give you something to cry about. Well, that's what the universe says. That's what source says. If you give off jealousy, the source is going to say, if you want jealousy, I'll give you something to be jealous about. If you give off sadness, the universe is going to say, let me give you something to be sad about. Things like that. It's going to mirror you. Well, everyone in your reality is also a mirror of you. Okay? I know you're not going to like this. However, if we can stop blaming everything outside of us for the things that's going on, we'll start to see that they're really just showing us things that we need to see within ourselves. So I have a significant other, And I've always talked about how judgmental he is. Very, very judgmental. Everywhere I go, he's like, I say it all the time, he could read you in 3 minutes if he wanted to. Just break you down. And then I realized, one, I'm judging him about being judgmental. Because I don't know if that's the mood that he's in. I don't know if he's breaking people down. I don't know if that's what he wants to do. But I'm judging him. So every time he's judging, I'm judging him for judging people. I was doing that with my sister too. And because that was the assumption that I was making about him, even if he wasn't in the mood to judge people, anytime he was going to judge someone, he was going to do it around me. People will act the way you think that they're going to act around you, even if that's not how they were going to do it, because you are bringing that energy to the frame through your thinking. That's one. And then two, I realized he was also showing me what I was doing to myself, because I would break people. And if that wasn't enough, there was a person who has been admiring me through hate. Not sure if I really want to acknowledge her or not, but when she first slipped into my DM and started her journey of being obsessed with me, she broke down all these things about me that I had never told anybody I had a problem with. I never acted like I had a problem with him. Nobody knew those were my insecurities, but she could break it down. And she was doing that not because she was smart or reading my mind, but because she was literally, it was the universe showing me what I was thinking, how I was feeling, my insecurities. See what I'm saying? It's another thing like data mining on your phone. You know how you'll go and you'll talk about something? So it's two things. A lot of people say, oh, your phone is listening to you. You know, if you mention a subject and then all of a sudden your phone is bringing that up on search engine. One, yeah, your phone may or may not be listening to you, but also you have to understand that we are the internet. All the stuff that shows up on your phone, I'm doing this with my pen. All the things that show up on your phone it's communicating with your mind. Data mining, I talked to you about thought forms being all in the air, and our thoughts coincide with the things that's coinciding on the internet, because the internet is not a thing. It's not something you can taste, touch. You see what I'm saying? It's not something you can interpret with your five senses. You don't see the internet. You see a website. You don't see the internet. You don't hear it. You don't touch it. You don't taste it. You don't feel it. It's all in your mind. It's a web of connection of mind, of thought forms through antennas, receivers, receptors, whatever you want to call it, satellites and antennas. And your mind is also a satellite and antenna. So it's all working together. And that's exactly what's happening with people projecting who you are to you. If you keep telling somebody that they're going to do something that you don't want them to do, you're like nagging, they're going to eventually do it. Not because they don't want to, but because they are reflecting your greatest fear to you. But it's not just your fears. It also works. It works also with the things that you want. So you can think about, literally you could try this, right? You can think about something easy. Think about pennies. Just think about pennies. And then watch how all these pennies start showing up. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Okay, well, let me think about a BMW. Yeah, you could do that. You could think about a BMW, and you're going to see a whole bunch of fucking BMWs on the road. Or think about, haven't you noticed when you get a car, you see that same car that you have? Like, I swear, all I see are Jeeps everywhere I go. Swear to God. Black ones with silver trim. So what you have to do is, because a lot of people say, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself. What you have to do is, one, think about what you want. And if it's things that you actually really, really want, think about you having it, you actually possessing it. I'm not going to get into story time again. Think about you possessing it. The least resistance you have about it being yours, the more it will actually be yours. But it'll still show up in your reality. You can have whatever you think you can have. This is literally the law of assumption. So, how do you use everyone as you pushed out, or everything as you pushed out? How to use that to your benefit? Because this is actually quick. It just seems like really duh. Two ways. One, you can notice if someone is treating you a certain way. Like, for example, your significant other. if they're ignoring you, or if they are, let's just say if they're ignoring you, you have to look within yourself and say, well, if he's ignoring me or if she's ignoring me, I must be ignoring myself. This goes into the masculine, feminine energy within us. But when I say ignoring yourselves, a lot of times we're so built up on the day-to-day of what has to be done, the rat race, making money, taking care of our kids, doing things for people outside of us, all those things, that we never take an opportunity to think about what we internally want to do. Those things that you just wanted to try, artwork, dancing, music, things that relax you. All those, all those things that you want to do. If you have trouble finding out what you want to do, think about like things that you liked when you were a kid. All that stuff. Those get into your, your childlike mind. So if someone is ignoring you, it's because you're ignoring yourself. And this is why people will tell you to focus on yourself if you are going through a hard time or if you are experiencing like a bad breakup or something. When you focus on yourself, people will focus on you. You'll notice that people are magnetized towards you because you're giving that attention to yourself. And like I said, everything is a reflection of you. If someone's being mean to you, you're probably being mean to yourself. What are the things that you say to yourself? Do you give time and love? How do you talk to yourself? Do you talk sweetly and nicely to yourself? Or are you hard on yourself and you're an ass to yourself? If someone is saying something to you about them or to you about you, it's probably something that you have already thought about yourself or about them. No, start actually paying attention to where someone is doing something that you probably might have a problem with. I have a friend who was talking about a controlling person in their life. And I just started laughing. I said, ain't that the mirror? Because I wanted her to understand. I had already been telling her this for some time now, that she has some controlling tendencies that she may or may not care to know that she had. But literally it was exactly a mirror. It was like, okay, you're going to get these people in your life because that's the personality type that you give off. So then a lot of people ask, well, what about like the narcissist empath? So for those who don't know, an empath is the opposite of a narcissist. A narcissist takes energy from you. Hold on. A narcissist takes your energy. And an empath, they don't understand. They give their energy. So for example, if I'm in a good mood and somebody comes with their bad mood or wants me to do something and I'll say it this way. Normally an empath is someone who grew up having to cater to someone else's mood for their survival. You had a mother or a big sibling or a teacher that had a very powerful energy, and your day, your life was contingent on how they felt. Most of the time it's a mother or father. That's a narcissist. Because what a narcissist is someone who has always had a lot of responsibility. However, people relied on them. So they were the boss, and they had to encourage their ego. They had to pump their ego up to get shit done. They had to believe in themselves. I would say it's in an ill-dignified way because, I would say it's in an ill-dignified way because they have an energy of just me and not anyone else. I don't care if you lose as long as I win. So it is ill-dignified. However, it's someone who, for example, my friend was talking about a guy who this homeless beggar on the street, but in high school he was the shit. No one ever questioned him. He got to do what he wanted. His grandmother raised him. He literally got whatever he wanted. Nobody ever questioned him. As a high schooler, no one ever questioned him. He bullied a lot of kids and no one ever said anything to him. That's a narcissist. So yes, he peaked in high school because as soon as he had to grow, he didn't want to listen to himself and nobody cared about him anymore. So that is literally the quality of a narcissist, someone who rules everything and no one questions them. They don't have to grow. They don't have to answer to anyone. And there are other characteristics and there are other things that happen. And I talk about the polarities. there are so many things in between being empathetic and narcissist, but that's just what I'm saying. So in the case of those, a lot of times with the everyone is you pushed out, someone that's around you is implementing the opposite characteristics. A lot of times what they call the twin flame union, if you look at your twin flame, they are hyper in whatever you lack. There's a gentleman, he's extremely overly sexual. I mean, like overly, I shouldn't say that because he's gonna watch this. He's very sexual, and his twin flame tends to be very undersexual, holds herself back, won't do anything, keeps everything in her head, is very reserved, is I don't want to say she's overly not sexual, but she is to a point where she's hindering herself. So it's literally it's opposites attract. It's opposites attract. It's showing you your down. Yeah, I don't want to say your downfalls. Showing you your fears. Showing you things that you can work on within yourself to help you grow. And then what you would do is you would use self-concept. So with self-concept, you can do affirmations, script, visualize, live in the end of what you want to be. So in the example of an empath or narcissist situation, the empath would see the narcissist, and instead, in our society, she blames him and calls him a narcissist, and then she leaves. But then she goes and gets another, or he goes and gets another situation like that. It's male or female, you guys, interchangeable. Use it to whatever benefits you. So if you keep looking at, if you find yourself involved in multiple situations that are the same, that's a clear indication that it is you, that you are attracting that type of energy, whether it is that type of energy from people or whether it is that type of, those type of people that you're attracting. And that's where you would want to do the self-concept work of, like if you're an empath, it would be self-concept work of, I own my energy. I'm in my space. So you want to do like energy boundaries. I should do a build on energy boundaries. You want to do an energy boundaries exercises, and there's so many of them. You also want to do affirmations about being strong, being in your peace, owning your own emotions, being powerful, not allowing other people to dictate who you are, what you do. I'm going to do a build probably tomorrow on affirmations we can use for self-concept, because I don't think people understand how amazing self-concept is. So I'm just going to keep saying it and saying it and saying it. Anyways, I really feel like I've done some great work today, because I feel like I have explained everyone as you pushed out. I'm sure I'm going to talk about it again in the future. Like I said, you can find other vlogs and builds on self-concepts and everyone as you pushed out on social media, and then you can find other things about self-concept and just spirituality in general on my vlog. So take a look at the other videos. I appreciate you watching. My name is Shayla J. This is Chocolatecake101. If you found this video helpful, like, share, comment, subscribe, screenshot, screen record, email, hashtag, and build off of these awesome conversations, because my love is your love. Yeah, we are going to get this. We are getting this. This is what this is. Thank you for watching. Take care. Peace.